step as we're working through these is to also work with equations that are not in y equals format. So we have worked this back in chapter 1. We worked it earlier this chapter where we want to work that equation to get it to say y equals. So we want to solve for y. So our whole objective is to get y all by itself. So we're going to work backwards to get that y by itself. In reverse, in inverse operations. So right now I have a positive 1 there that I need to get rid of. So the opposite of positive 1 is minus 1. And then minus 1. Now I have this in my y-intercept equation. So my slope would be 3, and my y-intercept would be negative 1. So we would go to our negative 1, and then we would follow the slope of 3 over 1. Okay, so let's try another one. This next one's a little bit more complex. That was a one-step removal. This one's going to be a little more complex. So here I have 6 plus 2y equals negative 4x. So we're working to get to solve for y and get y by itself. Okay, and I always do a box just because it helps me say, okay, what needs to stay there so that it helps me identify what should my first step be. So I need to leave the 2y because I'm solving for y. So I have to get rid of this 6, which right now it's positive 6, so I'm going to subtract 6. Now remember, from chapter 1, we cannot write minus 6 underneath here because these are not like terms. So I'm just going to write the minus 6 off to the side. Okay. All right, so that 6 is gone. Now I'm still working to get y by itself. So right now I have 2 times y. The opposite is to divide by 2. So that leaves me with just y on this side, but whatever I did to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to do that underneath each of these. And the reason I'm doing them separately is I need to see those as reduced form numbers so that when I go to graph my line, I'm seeing the 2 separate numbers. So negative 4 divided by 2 is going to give me negative 2, and then I would just put my x behind it. Negative 6 divided by 2, well, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and it's a negative 3. So my y-intercept equation is negative 2x minus 3. This would be my slope. This would be my y-intercept. And we would include that negative with the 3 when we graph it. Okay? All right, so let's try another one of those. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and pause your video and work your way through this one, and then you can start the video back up once you're done and check. So you're going to go through and isolate for y, so solve for y, and then identify which of your numbers is the slope and which is the y-intercept. You can pause your video now. Okay, so here you would have ended up with your slope being 3/5 x and your y-intercept being positive 2.